Welcome back, everyone. I wanted to have a quick chat with you all about a new development in Donald Trump's legal issues regarding January 6th and his attempt to overturn the 2020 election. This update comes to us courtesy of John Eastman, who has been trying to keep some of his records from the January 6th committee, citing attorney-client privilege as he is one of Trump's many lawyers. Now, the judge ruled that the vast majority of the records that the committee had asked for were privileged and returned them to Eastman. However, there were 4 emails that were sent on to the committee, and these emails could cause a lot of trouble for both Donald Trump and John Eastman. So, let's get into a quick discussion about the contents and why they might matter going forward. So, what's the big deal with these emails? Well, to give you the bottom line up front, I'm just going to go ahead and read directly from the judge's ruling. Quote, "The email showed that President Trump knew that the specific numbers of voter fraud were wrong, but continued to tout those numbers both in court and to the public. The court finds that these emails are sufficiently related to and in furtherance of a conspiracy to defraud the United States." Now, let's unpack that a little bit. So, within the emails, John Eastman is speaking to a third party, essentially stating that Donald Trump knows that his claims about voter fraud in this particular case in Georgia are wrong. They're not factual. But he is signing legal documents under oath stating they're true. And of course, John Eastman, as a lawyer, realizes that's a problem, and that's perjury. However, Donald Trump did sign those documents and did submit them to the court. So, in submitting these false documents to the court, the judge here is essentially saying that that is an overt act in furtherance of an attempt to defraud the United States, as Donald Trump tried to illegitimately declare that there was massive voter fraud and therefore the 2020 election should be overturned. Now, that wording is very particular. The in furtherance of a conspiracy qualifies these emails as evidence of that overt act, which is a very important legal standard to clear when charging someone with a conspiracy. Usually means that 2 or more people need to take that overt act towards achieving whatever criminal end they're being charged with a conspiracy of. In this case, again, overturning the election and defrauding the United States. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying that this is finally the smoking gun. This is the thing that's going to tie Trump to all the conspiracies and confirm that he, in fact, was lying. He was attempting to defraud the United States and steal the election. And I just don't think that's how this is going to play out in court, because these emails are hearsay. These are not direct conversations between John Eastman and the former president, as we know Donald Trump doesn't actually use email. John Eastman is instead talking to a third party about the former president. So, Donald Trump's lawyers could step in and say, no, John Eastman was wrong, he didn't understand Trump's mental state. The former president truly believed what he said when he signed those documents and was going around stating that there was all kinds of voter fraud in Georgia and in other places around the country. And it might be difficult for prosecutors to get this hearsay evidence entered into actual evidence in the court. The rules of procedure for hearsay can be a little bit tricky, and I am not a qualified lawyer, so I'll leave the debate over whether this might be able to make it into evidence against the former president to people who are actually lawyers. However, it doesn't take a lawyer to know that these emails can be used as evidence against John Eastman, as he is the person who authored them. As Donald Trump's lawyer in a wide variety of election lawsuits, if John Eastman knew that he and his client were submitting fraudulent documents to the court, he could be on the hook for perjury as well. Additionally, this evidence showing that he knew what they were doing was fraudulent could show the proper mental state, that he was aware that he was committing a crime, and therefore could fit the standard for taking an overt act in furtherance of a conspiracy to defraud the United States. This evidence could put John Eastman in a very difficult position if the DOJ decides to prosecute him, as this is pretty ironclad evidence saying, here's an email that I wrote and sent to someone that says, I know we're lying about the election fraud, but I'm pursuing these cases anyway and letting my client submit documents under oath that I know are false. Now, let's say that they do decide to indict John Eastman. This is where the problems for Donald Trump come back, as the DOJ could say, okay, Mr. Eastman, well, we've got you on all of these different counts of different charges, we think we've got good evidence, but we really also want to get Donald Trump. So, we're willing to cut a deal if you cooperate with us. we'll drop some of the charges, reduce your sentence, standard cooperation agreement. So, the question for Donald Trump right now, I'm sure, is John Eastman willing to go to jail for me? And if I was a betting man, I would say John Eastman's probably not going to jail for Donald Trump, and if indicted, is probably going to cooperate with federal prosecutors. So right now, the biggest threat to Donald Trump is not the emails themselves, but what the emails might do to one of his many lawyers in trouble. Seems that Donald Trump really is living up to his MAGA ideal of make attorneys get attorneys. Think about it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of my content, subscribe to the channel and make sure to hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post new videos. If you want to support me on my other social media platforms, all the links you need will be in the video description below. If you have any questions about this video or another topic that you'd like me to discuss, leave me a comment and I'll do my best to get you an answer. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.